Welcome to Daily Dose. I have a cast of wonderful folk here with me today, and we're discussing something very fun and sweet and meaningful, and it is this lovely Success Stories calendar anthology. The folks here are either featured in it or have received it, maybe both, and we're very happy to have you all have a copy of this. Wayne will be getting his soon. The post office played a naughty trick on him. They sent him an envelope with no calendar. That stinks. So you'll be getting your copy soon. But I'll kick off with Wayne because Wayne is one of our featured writers in here. In the month of November, there's Wayne with The Language of Quiet Things. And I'd love for anybody to react to either Wayne's piece or just the calendar in general. Why does it matter? Why is it not just a calendar? I'll say that Amy did this lovely thing where she said, you know what, it's not going on the wall, it's going on the coffee table. It's become like a piece of art for her, and I love that. I see some nodding heads. Sharon?
I just love it that it's just you get to touch it and feel it, and it's just a different way of showing it. I love that. It's
I think there's something
so
big. Go ahead.
it's so like tactile for me right now. I'm just like, oh, I just want to hug it and just carry it around.
So here in the month of July is Sharon and exposure. And what I love about that, what you just said, Sharon, we talk about making things real. What is a success story? Well, it's something that you thought and felt and was in your head and maybe were scared to express or didn't even know you had to express it. And all of a sudden, you were transformed by the experience. Is that fair, Sharon?
Oh yeah, yeah, definitely. I mean, I never when I was an art director, I never like stood up and said, "Yeah, give me the copy. I want to write it." you know, like, no, thank you. I'm not a writer. You do that. That's your job. I'm the art director. I can tell you where it goes, where it's going to fit good, but I'm not going to tell you what it says.
What I love about what you said was that phrase, I'm not a writer. And I think
Mhm.
you're speaking to the majority of folks out there. And a
Mhm.
number of people who are featured in this calendar said the same things about themselves. I'm not a writer. Wayne, I know you've said that about yourself. Isn't that right?
I never considered ever writing anything for publication or just for even the neighborhood reading. But this process gave me structure that made me, embrace it.
And once again, what we have here in the form, looking at Wayne's, we have this piece again, the cover for the language of quiet things, and then we have Wayne's picture, which is really nice. And I love, the side by side of this, so we can see. And look, that's not Wayne up there, but it's a shadow of Wayne, right? It's a neat reflection of Wayne. And that's what's so lovely is seeing you guys, the summary of your story and then your feeling about what it was to write it and these two images that are juxtaposed. To me, that's very powerful. Sharon, as an art director, how does that ride with you? Because you were involved with the creation of this and you've obviously got an eye for it. Can you talk about those things and how they relate?
Yeah, I just yeah, like the just expose. I have a hard time with long words sometimes, but
Juxtaposition.
you just make it flow as well as you can. So right, so that's sort of like how this calendar is going for me. It has got a flow. It's beautifully laid out. I just love that the words are big enough for me to see
Mm,
without my glasses. And, if I do have a little bit of double vision, I can still read it.
wonderful. I'm glad it's legible, it's attractive, it reminds you of not just your story, but what you're part of. You're part of a larger success story.
Mhm.
Um, Karen, I wonder for you because you had dreamed of being a writer, and in various forms have been a writer before this. But this process focused you into a new level of writing, particularly being a screenwriter. And you're featured in here in the month of June. Talk to me about what that's like to see yourself here as a screenwriter for this story.
Dream come true. I couldn't be happier to have be side by side with everybody else that's in here. This is also the proof in my hand is wonderful. And that's also an example of Sharon's artwork there, making the cover for me. Thank you very much. And I always wanted to do something like this, but with my issue, Parkinson's issues and everything else now going on 10 years, I really almost gave up on this ever being a thing. And I've done an awful lot and made a lot of changes in my life for the better. It's not perfect, but it continues to grow and change and evolve. And I couldn't be happier with the whole process. And having the physical copy now. When I feel at my lowest points, because we all have to deal with these highs and lows all the time, this brings me up and shows me that, one, I matter, two, I have a purpose, and three, this is just the beginning. I love all of it. I love all of you. And I mean, I've been in some way, shape, or form involved in every one of these stories as a mentor or something. And I just can't wait for the next, it's time to turn the page. What's next? I never thought I could get this far, and I'm so happy to be a part of it. And yeah, it's brought an excitement to my life, no matter how other things aren't working out that great. Because I've been able to do this, now I feel like a success story.
Yeah, well, that's the point, really. Of a couple things: mattering, purpose, and having something to look forward to. You said all of those really importantly. We know the disease Parkinson's can rob us of that. Not just the people with Parkinson's, but care partners, family members. We can all get sucked down into the void and the nebulous problem that is Parkinson's. However, this, says, what? I'm a success story as is. This is, and not only do I have this,
right there.
Yeah, not only do I have this legacy, but I have, as Karen said, very potently and powerfully, something to look forward to. I want to turn the page to what's next. This has me positively looking forward. And that's so important always to feel that we have purpose, meaning, matter, all of those things. Susan, for you have this huge departure of a story that has been just a wrestling match, right? Of who Ellie is, of what harmony is, this mythical world. When you see and feel and hold this in your hands, how does it feel to you? What does it make you think now as you see yourself?
That's exactly what it was when it came, having seen it online and stuff for, a while now. It was, physically holding it made it real, Robert. That's the real answer to your question. It's like, no matter how many year and a half or whatever, I thank you, Sharon, that I've, worked on this story, no matter how many evolutions the characters' stories have experienced. It all was kind of, in a faint kind of way, kind of out there. And when that came, and it's pinned right here next to me, when it came, it became real.
Yeah.
And I was slavishly devoted anyway to finishing the story. Then you gave us the prize of the World Parkinson's Congress as a goal, as a deadline. And so I've written 12 of 12 chapters. I have a lot of draft editing and stuff to do, but I've never written anything in fiction. I've never wanted to. This is fantasy. I've never been a fantasy reader. I don't know where it came from. And as it's evolved, it's become much more real and serious. My protagonist does have Parkinson's, and it gets worse in the course of this story, which is going to be about 100 pages.
See,
Yeah.
Because it's funny you say what maybe I learned this in my own first book. There's what you're doing in a Word doc, but I'll tell you from a format
Oh.
standpoint, it's going to be quite a bit longer than you think it is because
Oh.
an 8.5 by 11 page actually to a typical 6 by 9 page. I didn't mean to
Oh.
write a 400 page book with acceptance. I thought I wrote
I
a 200
remember.
page book.
Oh my God. You're right.
So just
Well,
you'll see, and that's no knock.
yeah.
It's just the reality of the printing. So thank you for all of that, Susan. Russ, you've been a long time, one of our founding members and friends of the Day One that has now become Cinema Therapy program. You've been through one of the early iterations. You're one of the kindest donators to all of this and massive participants in the Jam for Joy, obviously, too. You have your copy and you look at this. What do you notice? What do you feel as you kind of leaf through this, and you're part of this community in such a big way? Make sure to unmute yourself and tell us what you notice, feel, and hear.
That mute button's so small on the phone. Anyway, um, well, one thing I see is people being heard. And I think their story is important, and it's important to be heard. And I think this is kind of like a breakthrough for a lot of people. They tell their story, and people listen, and we often have a problem with that not being heard. So I think it's inspirational to me because I want to be heard too, and um, I'm gonna I'm gonna be putting some stuff out there, maybe more in the form of poetry and songs. Um, I missed the deadline for one song that I decided I was gonna throw into the
Oh,
video category,
bummer.
but I'm taking that as a positive to rework it, and um, I'm going to actually submit that as a poem, but I'm also reworking the video on it, and I made some changes recently, and I think it flows better. So, but I'm inspired by all the everybody sharing their story and knowing that I could do that too.
Yes, you can. That's what I wanted to hear, right? Because I think what people mistake when they see this, and especially if you're seeing, very polished, beautiful looking things, and you're seeing, artwork and you're seeing pictures and this writing, you're going, oh, that's so far beyond me. Every person in this room thought it was beyond them before we started. Every single person, again, you heard Sharon say, I'm not a writer. Wayne echoing that. Susan questioning the style of writing. She was confident in a particular style of writing, but not this. Karen, confident in a particular style of writing, but not what she did. The transformation was coming together through the cinema therapy classes where these were born and brought forward to where we could collaboratively with a really strong spine of the hero's journey in the particular film we were working at understand, oh, wait a minute, what does my story need? How am I going to get to the goal of what Russ said, which is be heard? You have to tell a story that meets other people's neurology. We're hardwired to understand, relate to, crave stories. You, the writer, have to do your part to understand other people's neurology. You kind of are a neurologist as a writer because you're meeting people where they are too. And with enough of these tropes and enough of these characters and archetypes, we start to recognize them mixed up in the way that you put them forward as something we desire. Karen?
Well, another thing that keeps coming to mind that I want to touch on is there's so much negative stigma, and a lot of it is coming from, you got your own mental funk, but then a lot of it comes from the outside. Oh, if you've got this, or you can't possibly. And it's another physical proof of, I can say I'm doing this and tell people about it, but when you got it in your hand like this, you don't want to prove people wrong, but yeah, I proved you wrong.
I hope you do. I hope you do that, Karen. I hope you, just like you're doing, I hope you hold this like a shield against the critics and the cynics and the people who would otherwise judge you and go, oh, yeah? Proof is in the anthology.
The proof is right here, and it's it's here. It's in these videos. It's on the website. You can't tell me no. You could never when it's here. Yeah, it's a screenplay. It's still in process, but it's going to happen.
Well, it already has to a degree. This is the importance, like you say, it's not just aspirational. The work you've done to be in this place is tremendous. And, if somebody wanted to see it tomorrow, you and I could powwow in a short bit to give them a version of your story that would be presentable. You've done the work. It's there. And so that word right there.
How much it means to me just to have you say that too. And for Wayne and Sharon too. I'm not a writer. Oh boy, are you writers?
Thank you, Karen. Thank you.
You guys are great writers, and I can't be more proud of each and every one of you. And Susan, I know, like you said, you struggled here and there and everywhere, but what you've done with our little purple dragon, I mean, really, it's amazing. I just
hatched out of here.
Yeah, exactly. I've never been more happy to be a part of anything ever. And thank you all for listening to me when I try to help and going back and forth with me. And as you guys have all helped me bring this to life too. It's happening.
So let me wrap. Yeah, go ahead, Susan.
Karen, you're a different woman than we met 2 years ago.
Oh.
You are so grounded and so clear about what's important to you, and not just the gratitude. It's actually like a self-definition.
Thank you, and I couldn't have done it without you, especially.
And Susan, you're futzing with the internet. Just let it's not you, but your words have come across very strongly. And what you're saying about Karen is so important and so powerful that she has manifested a new version of herself. She has been transformed. So thank you for those words. Internet be damned. You're here and you were heard, Susan. Just know that. So let me close with this. I want to share with everybody who's watching and says, I want to be part of the success story, group that, and again, knowing that our new partner, Community Bridge, wants us to feature the World Parkinson's Congress we know is coming up in May, where we will be, showing more of the success stories. Of course, Boys of Summer, Third Base, it's in here as well, and it'll be featured at the World Parkinson's Congress. How can you be part of this? Well, number one would be to join us and come to our website, yesandexercise.org, and you can click under programs on cinema therapy. And when you go to cinema therapy, here it is. Here's a description of the exact program that has led us to success stories and some of the people that are involved. And there's more of them on the website. We'll be featuring them. And if you want to be involved further with this, one thing you can do if you want to get one of these calendars is if you go again under programs, and I'll probably put on cinema therapy as well, but under improv, there's this thing that Susan and her husband Chip are doing, the Seeds of Joy fundraiser. And we have matching funds through the end of January. If you join us in there, become a sustaining circle, join the sustainer circle for even $5 a month. We'll send you a copy of the success stories, okay? Become part of the sustainer circle. And here's the kicker. Your funds will be matched by Susan and Chip and their generous donation. We still have, I think, about $1,200 to unlock there. So again, please chip in your portion of that so we can unlock the total amount and get your copy of the success stories. Now you say, hey, wait, I want to write too. Well, wonderful. Back to that cinema therapy program page. What are the upcoming classes? Let's click on that button and we'll see. Look here. We have 2 coming up here starting at the end of January. One is Go the Distance with Rocky. We're working with the Rock Steady Boxing. You don't have to be a boxer, but if that movie appeals to you, the story of the underdog and the 50-year celebration of that movie, yes, it has been 50 years since Sly Stallone graced us for the first time as Rocky Balboa. We're doing that. And also Stand By Me is the other film. We know the tragic passing of Rob and Michelle last month. Their legacy, however, goes on, and we want to proliferate what it means to stand by them and let them know what their stories and beautiful talents mean. Because Michelle and Rob met on the set of When Harry Met Sally, and their love transformed both of their lives. And it is through art that they have made these beautiful communities and opportunities. And by the way, Rob Reiner transformed Stephen King's life with the making of this movie, from being seen as a horror slash schlocky type writer into someone with heart, with meaning, with humanity. And so we have that to unlock. So if you want to join us for that, you just click on Stand By Me, for instance, and there you go. There's the sign up page, and it'll tell you more about the program. We'd love to have you. So that's coming up here. Please, you do not have to be part of the Parkinson's community. These programs are open to everybody. And Yes and Exercise, the nonprofit, runs them all. So you're doing work for the Parkinson's community by taking part in these lovely cinema therapy classes that lead to success stories. All right. Closing thoughts for anybody as we wrap for the day. Anything you want to share with anybody before we head out the door? Yes, Susan.
Most of you know that Robert and Karen and I and others have found a word of the year that, or maybe the word found us, and it just sat and embraced us and supported us and pushed us and helped us. But it's not an intentional thing that you go pick a word. Word comes to you. And I told some of you guys the other day that I was being smacked around. I had all these words that kept flying in, and then they just wouldn't stick and they'd fly off. So I wrote them down. Finish, complete, whole, impact, prioritize, achieve, rising, even rising. That one went away. Reading backwards here. Flourish, thrive, evolve, courage, hope. And the other day, my success story reminded me it's all about Ellie's courage.
Yeah. So that's your word?
And that's my word.
Give it up for Susan's word of the year. Outstanding, dear. So glad.
It was a great moment because I had so many smacking me around.
Yeah. Well, thank you for
see.
staying in the fight, as our friend Brene Brown, tells us about the importance of going in for the rumble. You allowed yourself to not just give up or not just quit. You said, I'm going to hang in there, and you did. You went the distance, and you got courage.
I need the courage to find the courage.
Wonderful. Anybody else closing thoughts before we head out for the day? To everybody, reminding everybody that we want you in our success story ring. Karen, please.
Yes, my word of the year is unite. So let's all unite and join the fight of making people understand this through our stories. And we united today in a way. None of us planned on wearing different shades of blue, but and we all kind of did, and we all matched the Boys of Summer cover with the black and the blue. So this is. It's all part of how we're connected, even when we don't plan it. And I love seeing
that's awesome.
Courage.
And you saw it.
Courage. Unite. Russ?
Well, I'm also going to share my word. I came up with a word that sort of came to me too. A focus. Focus on what's important to you. Focus on leveraging your strengths. Focus on working on your weaknesses. A whole bunch of things.
It's bigger than you think, Russ.
It's big.
And I need focus. That's why it came to me, because I have so many things on my plate. So I need to focus on how am I going to get that all done without driving myself crazy.
Hey, Russ, just know that you're not alone, and you're giving a gift by allowing that to be your word. Well done. Karen?
To be vulnerable.
I hope to see both of your words. If you don't write a blog post to join mine and Robert's there on the website, you can always put it in the comments.
Whatever you like, let us know. There's a space for you, and it can come whenever it comes. Good. Either Wayne or Sharon, we haven't heard from you. You don't have to, but if you have any closing thoughts before we head out the door, we're always happy to hear them. Do either of you wish to share anything before we go?
Well, I judge my days because they're never the same. And I strive for being vibrant every day, which I don't make that. I got a disease.
Beautiful.
Doesn't let me be vibrant all the time, but I'm always vibrant after one of our meetings.
Yep.
Man,
Yep.
I don't know if that's your word of the year or not, but I love the sound of vibrant. I like the cut of your
Oh,
jib, man. Vibrant.
yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
That's beautiful, Wayne. Thank
Yeah.
you. Sharon, anything you'd
Thank
like to
you.
share before we go?
Oh, I just want to thank everybody for this, the opportunity just to come into this. I mean, I've only been 1 year in, not even that. So just a really big difference in my life to have this available.
Mhm. Mhm.
Well done, dear. You are most welcome. You matter and you belong. All right, everybody. Share this with everybody. Let's get people into the Stand By Me program. We're coming up here in 2 weeks. Get more success stories to the World Parkinson's Congress in just a few months. And have a fantastic day, everybody. Take care. Susan, go ahead and
Thank
hang out.
you. Love everybody.
Okay.